Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. This is video number 6 in our video series on SUMO for beginners. In today's video, we're going to look at how we will utilize the OSM web wizard, which is also comes together with the SUMO package. So in the initial video or the first video, we started on how to use the code in order to create a network and also create a route, then apply a flow on it, and then you can now run the simulation. So in the this thing, we also see how we can utilize the net edit to do that particular task. So now this is the easiest one of it, whereby the Sumo made it possible for you to use the OpenStreetMap to get the location or the road network of the area of interest. So that means you don't need to uh, be creating the network. So and you will now have a realistic network. So all what you just need to do is you come to the search distance. So you now press OSM. So once you install Sumo, you should be able to see an extension like this. So just double click on it and it will now open. So but you need to know that for you to utilize this, so that means your system needs to be connected with the internet. So that means you need to have a internet connectivity, and preferably you need to make a Firefox to be the default folder of your the default browser of your system. So once you click on the OSM web wizard, it will going to record the distance. So you can now see it has opened. So but you need to make sure that the Firefox is the default browser that you are using, because I have tried using the Google Chrome and together with the Edge. So but I will charge a kind of a fruitful results. So this is a better decision when it comes to the Sumo. So once you have done that, so these things they will now they will open. So you will have a kind of the setting, then you will now have the vehicles that you want to simulate, then the type of the road network that you want the vehicle to use in the simulation. So this is where you can search the name of the location. Is it a road, a city, or whatever that you want to simulate? So you write the name and search. So let me say, for instance, let me say Damaturu. So now I will search. So it will automatically brings the map of Damaturu. So you can see the roads of Damaturu. So here, maybe if you want to select a specific area, so you can go ahead and click on this, which is the uh, select area. So and this rectangle will now pop up. So from here you can be able to make the rectangle to a different sizes depending on the area that you want to simulate. Then here is the options. So this is the simulation duration. Maybe if you want the simulation runs for 60, maybe for an hour. So that means it's going to be 3,600 seconds. Maybe if you want it to be for 2 minutes, so it will be only 120 seconds. So you set the simulation duration according to your needs. So this is the polygon. So that means it will add the polygon to the map that will be imported. Then if you want to import a public transport, you can check this one. If you don't want, you can uncheck it. So if you want a network that is car only network, that is excluding all any other forms of transportation, so you can click this. So if you want the background to be a satellite distance, so you can click on the satellite background. And maybe for the countries that are practicing the left hand traffic, so like the UK, so you can click. But in Nigeria, actually, we are using the right hand, so you don't need to click here. Now you start the setup. So here you click on this car. So you will have some different modes of the transportation that includes the truck, buses, bicycle, and the rest. So if you want to include any of this into the simulation, you just need to check this particular box in front of the vehicle class. Maybe if you want to include motorcycle, you click on it. So here you will see that we have two variables here. We have the true traffic factor and we have a count. Okay, what we mean by this count is that this 12 means 12 vehicles will be in the simulation for the duration of an hour because we have chosen the seconds to be 360 seconds. But however, like for instance, let's say I want to simulate from here, from this center to here, and maybe it's a road that has, let's say, two lanes. So what I will do is this. So I will multiply the distance of the road, that is from here to here. Let's say it's 3 kilometers. So I will say the 3 kilometers multiply by this 12, then multiply by what? That is, you are multiplying the length in terms of the distance by the number of the vehicle you want it to be in the simulation, then by the number of the lanes. The lanes here are the edges. So maybe if it is a two lanes way, so that means you are multiplying 2 by 12 and by what? And by the distance of the road. So like for instance, this is not constant. It depends on your distance. Like for instance, if I want, let's say my road is 3 kilometers and it's a single lane road. Or let me say a kind of a two lanes road network. So for me to have the total distance, so I have to multiply the length of the road by the vehicles number I want to be in the simulation, then times what? Times the length, that is the distance of the road, and that will now give you the total vehicles that will be in the simulation. So that is for this. For now, let's just use a car for this particular example. So here is the road network, whereby you can select the type of the road network that you want to use. So if you don't want any of this, so you can uncheck it. Maybe all these ones, like the residential areas, the unclassified roads. So maybe let's leave at let's leave the tertiary, secondary, primary, trunk, and motorway. So that maybe in the second trial, we may take up some of this and you will see the difference. So once you are okay with this, so you go to the pedestrian. If you don't want pedestrian, so you can just uncheck this. But maybe if you don't want, you want the pedestrian, but you don't want some of the variables associated with the pedestrian, so you can uncheck them individually until you have your final listing. So let's say I don't want it. So the railway, I don't want all of them. So with this one, aeroway, I don't want it. The waterway, the aerial, and let's say this thing. So let me just, so once you are done with this, after you have made your selection, so you don't need to do anything, you just need to generate the scenario. So once you have a good internet connectivity, it will download the map of that particular area, assign the traffic you have chosen. It will convert the map to data and it will add the cars to the map. Then it will configure it and it will call the SUMO, and the SUMO will open. So you see the SUMO has already opened. So you see this is your what? This is your network. So you see this is somehow easier than the two methods we have used. But however, like if you want to localize the SUMO, you have to go beyond this. So as we are going, you will be seeing how to do it, because sometimes you need to leave all this one and use the Python code in order to get the optimum output. So here let's just run the simulation so you can now see. Uh, okay, yeah, because I have chosen a very negligible number of vehicles, so it is at 12. So it will multiply the 12 by the total length of the road within this particular network. Then it will now multiply each one by, like for instance, this is two lane. You see, this is one and this is two. So it will multiply the 12 by two, then by the entire length of the road network. So importantly, this one will take the distance, will take the original shape, that is the geometry of the road. But here you see this is Zama through bypass actually is a two lanes way. So that means here you need to add another lane towards here, and you can do that through the what? Through the net edit. I will show you in few minutes time. So look at this one based on the number of the roads we selected, and these are it. So for instance, now if I go back and rerun another one, maybe I uh, maybe altered the selection of my road network, it will definitely change this. So maybe I can introduce buses as well. So let me just stop this, and then let me go back to here. So you see, let's say we are taking up these tertiary roads, then maybe we are, or let's just take up the secondary road as well. So let's just leave the primary, the trunk, and the motorway. So here, let's add buses to the simulation. So the here, and the true traffic, I need to explain the true traffic factor. So the default true traffic factor of SUMO is 1. So this is the vehicles that started their journey at the edges and also exit the distance. So there are traffic that uh, go away out of this study zone. Like for instance, if this is our edge, the last part of the area we have selected. So this true traffic factor will determine the number of the vehicles that are coming outside the selected study corridor into the study corridor and also outside the study corridor. So that means out of this, that means 5 of this will come either from outside of the study corridor and they will leave the study corridor. So that is just the true traffic factor. So let's generate another scenario so that you will now see the difference that exists between the initial one and this new one. That here we add another vehicle class, and then we also like distance. So I think this is the new one. So you can now see, so it has taken up all those roads that we haven't selected. So look at the first scenario. So this is what we had initially. So you see the bypass are there and also the other inner roads. So here all those roads has been taken off because of your of your selection. So if you now increase the delay and run the simulation, so you will now see that here you will have a combination of vehicles. So you will have bus and you will also have a what? You will also have a car because we have chosen two type. So you will see them. So because we the choice the number we are using are not much, so that is why you are not seeing them as many as this. So let me just for instance go back and load the network. Okay. So here let me just make this one 600 for instance. Let me make it 600 and let me make this one, let's say 300. So now you will see that the network will be loaded with the vehicles. So let it generate the scenario, download the map and generate the and call the SUMO for it to run the simulation. So let's wait for it. That is why you need to have internet connectivity for you to do this. So you see it is converting the map data, processing the buses, and also processing the taxis. So when it is done, it will now recall the SUMO to open the simulation. So now because I have loaded more vehicles, so you see the rate at which it is downloading this is also decreasing, to show you that this file is heavier than the previous file we we used. So it is now calling sumo, so and it has already opened the sumo. So once you run this, so you will now see a difference with the initial one. So here you will see more vehicles on the road network, so more than you see. So you see, because we have increased their number. So the count simply means is that when you say a count is 12, so that means it will count the 12 by the total number of lanes in the whole network. That is like here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will multiply by that and by the total length of this particular network. But the limitation of this is that it assigns the vehicles randomly without like using your route from the manual classify counting. But you can also edit that using the what, using the the net edit. So if we go back to the initial scenario whereby I said that ideally here there should be two lanes way road, but here you see the web street the open street map is only capturing one. So if you want to add a number of lane to this, so you just go to the edit, then you now open this one into the open this to the net edit. So from net edit you can be able to add the length of the road, you can delete a road, you can do a lot of things. So you remember in our last video we have used something like this. I said the first thing to do is to select the inspection, then you now select on the road network. So here you see the number of lane is what is one, so I can make it two. Then so you see it has now become what, two. So likewise here, so you see it is what, one, so I can make it what, two. So you see that is how to so you see it has automatically uh, connect this. So also here you make it what, you make it two. So here as well you make it what, you make it two to replicate the real life scenario. So this is how to go with this. So I think in the next video I'm going to show you how to configure a kind of intersection, maybe a signalized intersection using the node edit. Then from there we'll move further. So thank you. This is how to use the open street map in simulation of urban mobility. So thank you. We'll meet in the next video.